Hi, welcome to Just Ask Sherry. Glad you could be with me for another video presentation. And I wanted to talk today about diabetes and aging and some of the products that I use to help me. We spend a lot of money on things, and this is totally, I'm an unpaid sponsor. Nobody's asked me to share these things with you. Maybe someday in the future, they're gonna say, oh, I'm gonna pay to advertise on your channel. But right now, these are all unpaid things that are just things that you don't have to spend a lot of money that I used to do in order to take care of some of the things that are very annoying problems that we have either as diabetics, type 1, type 2, or in aging. One of the worst problems that I had as a diabetic, because a lot of diabetics have dry skin, and also as aging, we have dry skin. And I always, and even as a kid, maybe it's a hereditary thing, I don't know, but I used to get terribly dry skin on my hands. And it was that I would get cracks in my fingers, and especially as I became type 1 and had to finger prick before I got my CGM, my continuous glucometer, and I would do finger sticks, and the more finger sticks you do, you would get cracks in your fingertips, and they would not heal. And if I was to tap my finger on any surface, that pain would go searing all the way up to my shoulders, and I would be in agony. It was one of the worst things for me. It was excruciating pain. And I tried everything. And I remember at one time, I think it was a dermatologist who had prescribed this cream, and don't quote me on the name of this cream, but I think it was called the Vanos. And it was the most ridiculously expensive cream. I think the cream, and this is going back so many years, don't quote me on anything, but I think the cream without insurance was something like $2,300 for a tube this big. These dermatological creams are ridiculously expensive. And I did have insurance, and the insurance covered the cream. And then my insurance changed, and it was no longer covered. And I went to get it covered, and they said, sorry, no coverage. And I thought, oh, what am I gonna do? My hands are cracked. And usually I would have on one hand, I think my right hand, I'd have cracks in every finger, and I was absolutely miserable. And so I tried to say, well, what am I gonna do? This is horrific. And even with the Vanos, it didn't heal completely. And I remember my internist prescribed an antibiotic, which did help on top of it. It was just terrible. So I went online, and I don't know what I put in. This is so many years ago. Maybe I said coupon for Vanos or something like that, or I went on to their website or whatever the case was. And I found a coupon, and I got the $2,300 tube of cream for $35. Is that insane? I mean, here's this great big company, and they're charging you all this money, but then if you Googled it or whatever, you could get a coupon that would save you all that money, and I got it for $35. So it was just sick. But whatever the case may be, I went through that, but it was still not doing the trick on a regular basis. And my daughter works in a nursing home. She's an occupational therapist. And she came home and she said, there's a lot of people in the nursing home who swear by this stuff called, what is it called? Working hands. So this is working hands. Oh, is it backwards? I think it's backwards. I'm sorry. I don't know how to fix that because I'm not technologically savvy, but I would like you to be seeing that forwards, but I don't think you are. But it's called Working Hands by O'Keeffe's, and you could get it anywhere. You can get it at Walgreens and Walmart and just any drugstore, everywhere. They sell it everywhere. You can get it online at Amazon. I don't mean to be promoting all of these places, but you could just get it anywhere. And she talked to me. She actually bought me my first little jar of this, and she said, just try it because everybody thinks it's the best thing. This stuff which is very inexpensive. I don't know how expensive it is right now because everything has gone up in price. But at the time it was something like $5 or $6 for this great big canister. And I put it on every morning and every evening before I go to bed. And I'm telling you, this stuff is the best thing. I almost never get cracks in my fingers anymore. And it has solved my problem for next to nothing. And it is the best cream I've ever used in my whole life. No prescription compares. I don't know what they put in this stuff, but whatever it is, I don't know. I'm looking at it, but I don't see the ingredients. I don't know. It's at the bottom and the print is too small, so I can't tell you. But it is the best cream I've ever used. It just solved my problem. So get yourself Working Hands by O'Keeffe's, and it'll just save all those cracks in your fingers. I don't have to do finger pricks except when I calibrate my my CGM. But it works, it's terrific, so you should get that. And by the way, I'm going to take a quick break and ask you to go like and subscribe to my channel so I can keep coming back and helping you, and hopefully you'll help me. So that's one product that I absolutely swear by, and I love it. So that's a terrific thing. Another thing that I've been using for many years is called Aquaphor. And Aquaphor is terrific because when one of my kids had eczema as a kid, and nothing worked, and I didn't really want to use harsh chemicals and cortisone creams and all these other things on them. Somebody had suggested to me, try Aquaphor, and it worked on my kids, it's worked on my grandchildren, and it also works on me. It works great for chapped lips, for dry skin and other places, and Aquaphor is an amazing product, and it's better than Vaseline. I just find it helps better, and it just helps with eczema and dry skin. I'm not endorsing, I'm not here to, I'm just telling you what works for me, and hopefully it'll work for you and save you a lot of money on expensive dermatological products that they charge you a fortune for that don't necessarily work. I know my husband has had other things, and he spends a fortune on all these things that the dermatologist, prescribes, and then comes back and says they didn't help. Another thing, like I get cracks on the bottom of my feet, my skin dry out on the bottom of my feet. I also get these little plugged pores in the bottom of my feet that almost feel like I'm walking on pebbles. And the podiatrist had prescribed this cream that worked on those areas. Like you put it on, once or twice a day on the pads of my feet so that the pebbles wouldn't form. I don't know what they're called. There's, I'm sure, a medical term for it. But it was great. And then during COVID, when I went back, because everything had started to get more expensive, the $25 little tube that I had gotten had gone up to $40. And we got hit pretty hard during COVID, and our income had dropped pretty substantially that year. And I didn't want to spend $40 on this tube. So I said, I'm going to come home and I'm going to look on Amazon. And I did, and I found this. And this is called Advanced Clinicals Callus Rough Spot Cream. Now, can I tell you that I've had this I've had it for 2 years. I don't know if it's still available on Amazon or in stores or whatever, because I haven't needed to, because I still have probably a third of a tube left, and I use it every morning. I don't use it twice a day, I use it once, but it is just as good as what I got in the podiatrist's office, and it was less expensive than what I got in the podiatrist's office in the first place. Instead of it going from $25 to $40, this tube I think cost me like $15 or $18, and I had Prime, so I didn't pay shipping. So that was a great product. So I love this, use this, and I think it's great. And then for aging, I think, when you buy expensive creams for your face, I think it's genetics. Because I used to use from Clinique, their moisturizer, and then I ran out of it, and I didn't have time to go to Clinique counter and get more. And I started using Lubriderm. Every single person who's anywhere near that industry would probably tell you, don't use anything like that because it's not good. I'm sorry, my hair is sticking out and I just can't fix it. So anyway, I had Lubriderm in the house. So I've been using Lubriderm for probably 8 years, and it's every bit as good on my skin as the expensive cream that I was paying at Clinique counter. And so I really don't think it has to do with what you're using as much as it has to do with genetics. My mother may she rest in peace, had pretty good skin. As she got older, it got wrinkled. Mine is wrinkling. I've got, things on my, but this comes with aging. I'm 67 years old. What do I expect? I haven't had a facelift, so, like I could do this and walk around all day, but that's just not going to happen. So it is what it is. So I use Lubriderm. As you can see, I don't have a lot of wrinkles in my skin. I've got some spots, but that comes with age also. So it is what it is. So these are just a few of the products that I use that work just as good as expensive products that I would have to pay a lot of money for in various places, whether it's prescription or, special counters in the department stores and whatever. So I just go to the, generic stores or the pharmacies and whatever and buy these things, and they work just as good. So I think you should experiment. I also buy, regular cosmetics. I don't get made up for these things. I just put on a little, eyebrow pencil and eyeliner, like a little bit, nothing under my eyes because I have dry eyes, and that's another thing I'll talk about on another video. But these are just things that I just pay, small dollars for, and it works great. So I wish you the same thing. Try the cheaper products and don't spend a lot of money, and hope it helps you like it helps me. I can be found by email through Just Ask Sherry, SHERRIE @gmail.com. You could comment below, and I'll try to answer those. And it's Just Ask Sherry, and that's my channel. I hope you'll come back, and I really appreciate you coming to me. Thanks so much. I appreciate your time.